Welcome to the Scoreboard, everybody. I'm Conrad Iacobellis.
And I'm Ryan Kostecka. Thanks for joining us.
Coming up on today's episode, we're going to give you a preview of Wasatch and Park City Soccer taking place this Saturday.
It's a huge showdown. Number 1 team in 5A versus the number 3 team in 5A. They clearly don't like each other. A little bit of bad blood. Anything can happen.
And then in the middle portion of the show, we are going to sit down with Hadley and Marcy Richins. They are cousins from North Summit.
2 phenomenal athletes, won state titles in volleyball, state titles in basketball. Can they pull that off on loose of third and get into track and field?
And then last but not least, Park City and Wasatch rivalry continues, this time in baseball. Their game was yesterday, and it was a very interesting game to say the least.
I fully believe for a rivalry to take place, it has to kind of be split. It's not so much a rivalry right now, so let's just go with that.
Yeah, we'll get into that in the later part of the show. But let's start off with Park City and Wasatch Soccer. This game is taking place this Saturday. Wasatch comes into this game 9-1, Park City 7-3. These are highlights from the previous game where Wasatch did take that game 4-3 back on March 27th. It was a great game where Wasatch was up 3-1, and then basically Park City made a storm back and lost 4-3. It was a very chippy game. There was 8, 9, 10 yellow cards. Coach for Park City got a yellow card. At one point, I thought some Wasatch fans were going to get yellow carded. It was a rivalry game in terms of closeness and competition and chippiness.
This is clearly a rivalry. I mean, you have 2 of the top teams in 5A battling out. They live, a mere 20 miles apart from one another. These kids have grown up playing against one another on the club scene or just, through local youth leagues. It's a phenomenal rivalry to see. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. I know Wasatch is the number 1 team in 5A. They're playing really, really well right now. Park City is going to come in struggling. As of right now, they're on a 2-game losing streak. They do have a chance to rectify that earlier this week before the rematch with Wasatch. But right now, the Miners are struggling. The Wops are clearly the team to beat in 5A.
Yeah, Park City, as you said, is on a 2-game losing streak. They lost to Springville and to Spanish Fork. What's interesting, Wasatch's one loss was against Salem Hills, where they lost 5-3 in shootout. Park City actually beat Salem Hills 2-0. So these are actually really, really evenly matched teams, even though records, Park City has 2 more losses than Wasatch. Ryan said, these teams have a chance to bounce back during the week. They both have a game on the 22nd. Wasatch plays Springville, which will be an interesting game, and then Park City plays Provo. It's going to be interesting to say the least, where, I feel like these are the 2 top teams in 5A. Park City is number 3 right now because of Spanish Fork jumping them, where Spanish Fork beat them last week. But I feel like Park City is on a little bit of a rough patch right now, but I feel like they're going to rectify that. I feel like, these 2 teams have been solid all throughout the season. These aren't teams that, they just got lucky. I mean, they've been playing great soccer, especially Wasatch.
Yeah, Wasatch has been on an absolute tear. I mean, they're averaging around 3 goals a game, just both offensively and defensively. They do a great job of keeping possession of the ball. They're phenomenal just, forcing other teams to play at their pace and to literally break their will. It's what Wasatch does. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They force other teams to make the mistakes, and they capitalize. And that's what you saw in the first meeting between them and Wasatch here on out. Park City, on the other hand, it's like they want to play like Wasatch. That's their goal. That's the kind of soccer they want to play. Park City does struggle a little bit with consistency, you could say. I mean, there's been times where that loss to Spanish Fork, the loss to Springville, Park City just didn't seem to be fully into the game. Not sure exactly what it is or what's going on, but it's good to have your struggles this early in the season. I mean, if you're a team that has a chance to win a state title, which Park City clearly does, you want to struggle now. You want to start peaking at the end of the year. I really believe the Miners are starting to peak, or they will start to peak. This Wasatch game for them is going to be huge. It's the biggest game of their season right now.
Park City, when they played Spanish Fork, one thing we took away was Spanish Fork scored early in the game, and that kind of maybe upset that tempo for Park City. That's one thing Wasatch does very well, is they score and they attack early. I mean, from the minute that whistle blows to start the game, Wasatch is in full-on attack mode. They set the tempo. They set the stage. They play their game. They don't want the other team to set the tempo and to be able to get organized and talk. Wasatch is like, this is us. We are going to play. You are going to have to step up to us. And I really think another big factor in terms of Wasatch and Park City, Wasatch communicates a lot. They are a very well-run machine. They talk to each other. Park City, 2 games that we have noticed, Park City gets chippy with each other.
Yes. I mean, like you said, communication, composure. That's the name of the game come Saturday. Wasatch, a very well-communicative team. They talk to each other. They're all on the same page. Park City, not as much. They're struggling to find their identity a little bit. Instead of, maybe playing the short passes to get something in the long run, they're trying to go for what I call home run passes. The deep balls, they're trying to hit players in stride. Communication-wise, that's key. Composure is going to be absolutely massive. I mean, like you said, Conrad, last time, there were multiple yellow cards. That's not really good. That's not what you want from a Park City team that is literally playing catch-up. If the Miners can keep their composure in the game, there are going to be heated moments. They're not always going to be with the officials. If they can keep their composure, they're going to be just fine. But can they do it?
I think this is, I almost feel like this is a trap game for Wasatch. I feel like for how Park City is playing right now, coming off 2 losses against Springville and Spanish Fork, again, they do play Provo on the 22nd. Park City wants to win this game. If anything, if they come on a 3-game losing streak, they're probably circling that Wasatch game saying this is going to be the game that we are going to redeem ourselves for. And I really think, being at home, this game will be in Park City at 4 o'clock this Saturday. This is Park City's stage. This is where Park City can finally say, hey, we're not free-falling. We're going to step up, and we're going to fight for that RPI and prove that we deserve to be that #1 team or top 2 team in 5A.
I mean, it's real simple. Does Wasatch come out and say, look, we are not only the best team in the area, we are the best team in the state, and here's why, and lay down the hammer? Or does Park City come out and say, we struggle a little bit, but we're still here, we're rectifying it, we're on the way now? It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I, for one, cannot wait. It's
going to be a very exciting game. Again, this game is taking place on the 24th at 4 p.m. in Park City. So if you want to go watch a very exciting soccer game, make sure you head out this Saturday. We have to take a commercial break here on the Scoreboard, but when we come back, Ryan is going to be sitting down with the Richins cousins.
Hi everyone, this is Ryan Koseka with Park City Television Scoreboard. Welcome back. I'm joined now with North Summit basketball stars, Marcy and Hadley Richins. Girls, thanks for joining me.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Okay, so let's kind of dive right into it. You guys are going for the triple, essentially. 3 state championships in 1 academic year. Talk about what that means to you and just kind of, what goes through your head knowing if you win it this year in track.
It's kind of crazy, not a lot of schools win 3 state championships in 1 year. So it's kind of just cool to think that we could be able to do it.
Is it any extra pressure knowing you've already won 1 in volleyball, won 1 in basketball, and now you're competing track? Any extra pressure at all?
For me, no. I'm just running.
That's it.
Yeah,
Nothing else.
Just run it.
So let's go back into volleyball. Okay, that was your first one this year.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the team, the season. Did you know coming into it this year that hey, we have a squad that could win?
Necessarily no, because we were a younger team.
Yeah.
We had a lot of graduates last year, and last year we had such a good team. So we were we have a lot of shoes to fill. So we definitely had some younger girls that had to step up and take some places.
We only had 1 girl that played the whole rotation last year.
That's it?
And then she played front row, and I played back row for her last year. So we didn't even play a full game.
Yeah.
So everybody was
such
new.
a young team. So we didn't know if
Really?
we could win it or
Yeah.
not.
So you guys run a 6-2 or a 5-1 if you don't mind me asking?
More like a 6-2.
6-2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's crazy though. So the season, you lost 3-4 games all year long?
Yeah.
Early in the season, you ended with a 13-game winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a point that maybe you realized, hey, we can win this state title, or was it just kind of gradual progress?
It was definitely gradual progress, but there was a point in time where I thought we could win it.
Was there one match that specifically was okay, yes, now we know we can do this? Do you remember one specifically?
Yes.
What is it? You got to tell us now. What is it?
When we were playing in the Richfield tournament and we beat Enterprise, the #1 seed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of okay,
We can do it.
we can do it.
How was it, just the state tournament, everything through COVID and stuff? What was that experience like? I mean, you guys, the first sport's kind of really back.
Mm-hmm. Scared every time you had a test. You're like, crap, I might be out the next game.
Yeah.
Right?
Just always nervous that you test positive.
What was it like actually winning the state title, though? Getting that trophy, just, being on the court? Is that something you'll always remember?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was so good.
So, I mean, I know, Hadley, for you, it's a senior season to win that, Marcy, you still have a chance to go next year.
Yep.
So, kind of let's go to basketball. I already had Jerry Holmes on. We've talked with him.
Mm-hmm.
He gave us his breakdown and stuff. talk about actually winning that state title. I know it's been like it's the journey for the team, just second round exit, then a quarterfinals, then a semifinal exit, then a championship loss. Now to finally get over the hump, what was that journey like?
It was so good, especially this year, we didn't even know if we were gonna still win it this year too, just like volleyball. But we the past couple of years we've had such good teams and such good coaches. So this year it was good to know that they helped us win it also.
Last year we had one of the best teams in the state.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
We had all the talent in the world, but
I
needed
know
a little luck.
I talking to Jerry, we still talk about that a little bit. It's something that he wants to let go. He'll never let go of just that game there. How many fouls in that 2 years ago, that state title game? It was absurd.
Too many.
Right? It was like a double overtime loss. It was absolutely absurd. So just, losing, you guys lost Kennedy, obviously you're starting at the University of Utah now.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people probably didn't expect, North Summit to really kind of thrive in basketball this year. You guys proved them wrong for that.
Yeah.
Was there that confidence from the very start of the season that, hey, we could do this?
Yes, I think so. From summer ball to
we just
everything.
Played super good together as a team.
So is it probably different than volleyball, where volleyball you're still trying to learn it and kind of learn each other and stuff, but basketball you guys knew what you had?
Yeah, we clicked immediately.
We clicked really fast.
So was there a certain point, in basketball season that you realized, hey, we got this?
The beginning of the season.
Really, right away?
We're we just got to play our game and pull it off. We have all we can do it. We knew at the beginning we could do it.
Okay, then finally got to ask again. What was it like just holding that trophy up to the end? I mean, it's been a long time coming.
Such a long time. Yeah, it was good just to know that we did it.
The hurt last year.
Yeah.
Still not over that, but.
And that's okay. You never have to be over that.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. But at least you got something in return this year.
Right.
So, I do got to ask, though, the Richins is a huge name in Colville, obviously. Talking to Jerry, I was shocked. You guys are all cousins.
Yeah.
They're not actual siblings in that regard. What's it like, playing with your family and just, starring in that regard? Does it make it even more special?
Yeah, especially when you can hear the announcers and it's Richins to Richins, and then Richins finishes the layup.
Yeah, that's super special and cool.
Super cool to play with family.
Did you guys know, at a young age that, you guys were all going to kind of be athletes? Or was there a choice, hey, you guys are going to be athletes and that's the way it is?
Yeah, pretty much. Raised like that.
So then what do you guys do for fun then?
All we know is sports.
Yeah, we just do sports all the time. I don't know, just friends, family.
Outside a lot. I like the outdoors.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, so track and field now. What are your exact events that you're competing in? What are you hoping to okay, I know it's a lot. First off, I know it's a lot of events, but if you had to choose, which ones are you specifically thinking that, hey, I have a chance to win a state title in?
We're in the exact same events.
Yeah,
you are?
All four are the same events.
Yeah, so we both run the 100, the 200, the 400, and the 4x4.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4x4 is, let's fingers crossed that you both win that one.
Yeah.
But I gotta ask then, who's fastest? No hesitation at all.
No, she is.
Really?
100%.
You agree?
Yeah, she doesn't have to be humble. She's faster than me.
You should be humble. You got that for her, right?
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, I can help her out. As long as we win it together, huh?
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Faster.
Well, hey, thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it. We'll be following your journey, and hopefully that trip will, for you to end your senior season with 3 state titles.
Yeah.
And your junior year going into senior, good luck topping that.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Well, thanks again for everything, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you for having us.
This is Ryan Costeco of Park City of Television. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back right after this.
Welcome back to the Scoreboard, everybody. I'm Connor Diacobellis.
I'm Ryan Costeca. Thanks for joining us.
We're going to continue our conversation of Wasatch versus Park City. Last week, we covered Park City traveling down to Heber to take on the Wasps in baseball. Wasatch absolutely blew out Park City that game. They won 11-1. It was a rematch, a rescheduled game. They were supposed to play last Thursday, but, Mother Nature didn't want them to play, so they rescheduled for Monday. And even then, Mother Nature was still trying to make a case for them not to play. But this game, Wasatch took on Park City Monday in baseball. The camera is shaking because of the wind. It was an absolutely cold game. Wasatch took this game 8-5, but the game shouldn't have been that close. This was not a close game at all.
I mean, that's really another way to describe it. Park City came out and did what they wanted to do. They played small ball. They put pressure on the opposing team with really aggressive base running. They did very well in that regard. It's what Coach Fiesler really wants out of his team. They were fighting. They were taking good at bats. They were scrapping. They weren't stringing together a lot of hits, but they were putting the ball in the play. They're really aggressive on the base paths, and it led to an early 5-2 lead. But as Coach Barrett of Wasatch said, they are the comeback kids. Wasatch never panicked. And it just seemed that at some point, Wasatch kind of found their groove a little bit. They just started to find out who they were. They put the ball in play. They strung together a couple hits. And then all of a sudden the floodgates opened. There was nothing Park City could do about it.
Park City scored basically all their runs because Wasatch was having pitching troubles early on with the weather. There's a lot of walks, a lot of hit pitches. In terms of batters being hit by pitches, Park City only had 2 hits this entire game. Wasatch had 13. When we talked to Fiesler, he said he wanted 2, 3, 4, 5 to get going. They're still not getting going. Park City, they're just struggling. They are struggling all around as a team. I will give it up to Braxton, who started this game and he started the last game. Braxton did do a good job pitching. He was solid early on until the weather started to play effect. Both teams had 2 errors. That was due to weather. It was a messy game. I don't know what's going on with Park City. They're just flat. Like when we talked to Coach Barrett for Wasatch, he's like, I want my team to put the ball in play. I want my team to hit, and they're doing that. They responded to the coach and they said, we're going to do that. Park City is they're just bleh.
It's 2 teams going in 2 totally different directions right now. Wasatch is the team that is really finding themselves. They're finding their identity. They're not afraid, to fall behind because they know they have the bats to come back. That's what they've proven. They don't lose confidence in one another. Their energy never dips. Park City, completely different. Park City came out, started the game on fire. I was in the dugout trying to stay out of the cold, the snow, the rain, the wind, whatever. Park City was up. They were lively. They were excited. And then all of a sudden, the tide slowly started to change, and Park City got quieter and quieter and quieter. Wasatch the lead, Park City was silent. And it was really frustrating to see. I mean, I can only imagine what Fiesler feels. He sees this team that he has a lot of talent. There's a lot of individual talent on this team, but they're not really putting it together as a team. When Park City fell behind that 6th, 7th inning, they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight innings, 6th and 7th to end the game. That's not what you want to see, especially from your 1 through 6 hitters. You really want to see them battle, and each time they're at bats, they weren't really a team of bats. They're not trying to get on base and trust the next person behind them to do something. They're trying to make a big difference with just 1 hit, 1 swing, maybe put it on the board or do something. There's not a lot of faith in one another, and I think that really needs to be rectified for Park City to move on. Wasatch, on the other hand, though, that's a team that is slowly starting to find their groove, kind of like Coach Barrett said. They're starting to find it. They're starting to play well. They're starting to grow, and they trust themselves more, and who knows?
Park City at one point was up in this game 5-2, and then Wasatch came back and scored 4 runs in 1 inning, and that was really the turn. I will say, I will give credit to Park City. As you said, they were talking early on in the game, and that was one thing we noticed when we were down in Wasatch, was Park City was quiet. They were showing a little bit more fight early on in the game, but it's so weird. We saw, I'm not going to name names, but we saw one player for Park City, and I think it was bottom 6, bottom 6, because I think they were going to top 7th next time, where he popped up, ended the inning, and he started yelling, screaming, and pounding his glove, and was not happy during warm-ups to get to the top of the inning. It's just this team, they seem frustrated with themselves, and in some ways they kind of should be, because I think they realized where they could be. Yeah. But unfortunately, at a 6-11 record, they're at the bottom of the region. And right now, I think they're hoping to be able to get a play-in for playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, you said it best. Park City, there is reason for frustration. They have a talent. They have the ability to play much better. They really do. They just need to dig within themselves and find it. I mean, let's also be honest. There were a couple really bad breaks for Park City that could have completely blown this game open. I mean, at one point, Park City was up. They had a runner on second base, hard hit ball, happened to hit the runner second base. It actually would have scored him, but due to the rules, the runner was called out, inning ended. Next inning, same situation. Runner on second, had a chance to score. The ball hit the umpire on a really hard hit ball. Inning, so not the inning doesn't end, but because due to the state rules in Utah, play is dead. That's it. Every runner goes back to where they are, and that's that. So Park City did catch a few bad breaks that really could have broken that game open and might have changed their momentum and their mentality a little bit. But Park City really needs to find themselves. They need to dig deep. They need to find out what do they want to make the rest of the season, especially those 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters, the seniors on the team. What do they want to make of it? Wasatch, on the other hand, they are looking like they are roaring to go. They are ready for the playoffs. They are slowly starting to peak, and it's really impressive to watch. I mean, they've got great pitching. They've got very solid hitting. We saw the power last night against Park City. If Wasatch can keep that going, it's baseball. Anything can happen.
For Wasatch, Swap went 4 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Bollinger went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. I mean, those two guys have out-hit Park City in their last 3 games, just in that one game alone. For Park City, Braxton Lyon went 1 for 2. Will Bradley went 1 for 4, and Dylan Fishbow was the only person to get an actual earned RBI. Again, Park City got one of their runs off of a lot of hit by pitches or a lot of pop flies or sac flies. It's interesting. I feel like, Wasatch is getting to a point where they're really in a groove right now. They're really feeling well. Their pitching is becoming very, very, very strong. And, I mean, we were talking about how we're like, Wasatch makes it look effortlessly. They kind of look out there and they have swag and they're having fun. And Park City's on the opposite where it looks like they're not enjoying themselves.
2 teams going 2 totally different directions. Season's not over yet. They really could turn around. It's going to be interesting to see how the last third of this season plays out.
For Wasatch, they do take on Maple Mountain 11-5 on the 20th, so today. And then Park City also takes on Payson, who is 7-9 today. And so Park City hopefully gets a little bit of an easier schedule the second half. Wasatch gets a little bit more of a tougher schedule in the later half. So we'll see how this goes for both teams. But regardless, we'll keep you up to date on everything baseball. For Wasatch and Park City on the Scoreboard. For Ryan Costeca, I've been Connor Jacobells. This has been the Scoreboard. Make sure you tune in Friday for a brand new episode at 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. And of course, we have reruns at 7 a.m. and 12 p.m. right here on Park City TV. We'll see you guys next time.